Hello, hello.
Good day.
How's it going, Russell?
Good. How are you doing, Ryan? This is the first time we're meeting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great to meet you. It's not always the easiest thing to make an impression over Zoom as opposed to in person, but
I know. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it as well. Yeah.
Hey there, guys. Sorry, it's Byron here. Just a bit of an issue with the Zoom here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Byron.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Let's see. I'm just going to turn my camera on as well because Ryan's got. Sorry about that. It's not my best hair day today.
Are you kidding me? Come on, man, dude. I wish I had flow like that. Look at that. Dude, I'm feeling follically challenged sitting next to you on the Zoom.
Don't.
And then Byron, do you have a webcam?
I'm on my phone here. I couldn't get on my laptop for some reason.
That's weird. Are you with the team?
Say again, sorry?
Are you with the team?
With the team?
Yeah, like are you with your sales team right now?
Oh,
like,
no. It's just myself here. Yeah, no, I'm I don't know who's all joining here, Ryan, so I'm not sure. I know Russ and myself probably are the most well, I guess other than I know Osama, they're busy here where they've got some meetings today in Calgary. So between Russ and myself, I thought Gord might be able to join. There were some others I invited too, so I don't know if they didn't get back here. So we can maybe give it a couple more minutes.
Sure. And then just while we're waiting, I was just curious, Russell, did you know who Grant Cardone was before this came up?
No. Not at all. I guess maybe more for my benefit, less for Byron's benefit. Maybe we could go through a briefing.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah,
so super quick. So basically, like the intention of today's call is just to give you some strategies because you're a technical sales rep, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I'm just going to share some stuff that I do. Like I'm a sales rep myself. So stuff that I've done that's like I'm targeting companies that, have, multimillionaires. They're very tough to get in front of.
Okay.
And ultimately, everything that I've learned is from a gentleman by the name of Grant Cardone. So I'm going to just pull this up here.
Okay.
He's the #1 sales trainer on the planet.
Okay.
He's a guy that started from nothing, started in sales. Now he's a billionaire. He's a New York Times bestselling author, and his entrepreneurship, business acumen. I mean, he's on Success Magazine's platinum list alongside guys like Elon Musk and Mark Cuban.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I recognize a lot of those names. Ty Lopez is another name I recognize.
Yeah, 100%.
Huh. All right.
So yeah, 100%. Like even after this call, Grant Cardone, he's got some pretty big names vouching for him. I would check out some of his content on YouTube. He's got like 2 million subscribers. So I'll hook you up with some cool stuff.
Okay.
And then what we could do is we could just launch into this. We'll make this more of like a, I guess, one-on-one or one-on-two coaching if someone else pops on. And then we could always send the recording to the others. Or Byron, do you want to? Is that cool with you?
That's probably a good plan. I mean, it's already 10:35 here. So, yeah, once you get started, I mean, really, I mean, between you kind of got the two guys here that are probably the most keen on this side of things, and you know, as far as if things did progress, you know, we could sort of speak for the group here, I think. So,
Okay.
I would say so. Russ, would you think we're
I
capable
agree.
of that?
Yeah,
So,
I hope so.
but yeah, maybe record it, and then we could always share that amongst the fellas that couldn't make it. I know they do some meetings here in Calgary. So, but yeah, why don't you get right into it there, and as you say, just record it, and we can share that.
Cool. Awesome. So let's jump in. And my intention as well is that you guys are able to implement some of this stuff and make some commission, like literally this week. So what we're going to be talking today about, we teach a lot of stuff, but it's mainly how do I get a decision maker on the phone and how do I book a solid appointment? Now, from what Byron was telling me, Russell, it's kind of tough sometimes, like to get in front of someone. You have people working from home, you have people that aren't there. So first thing, if you guys have a pen and a notepad handy?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Sweet. By the way, Byron, do you have a webcam in? We can make this like a face-to-face.
Well, I'm trying to get I'm on my phone right now. I don't know I'm at. I don't know if it's just my Wi-Fi in my house is weak or something, but just carry on. Let me go to a different room here.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Russell, do you do Zoom presentations?
Yeah, I actually I do. I don't know if it makes a difference, but Teams meeting is actually my favorite format, just because of the format. And it seems like in our industry, it's more brought in by, it's more mainstream than Zoom itself.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, I've always had issues with Zoom, similar to what Byron's going through right now. But not today. But yeah, Teams meeting, I do probably on average at least 2 a week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So do they ever not turn on their webcam?
Yes. Yeah, I do have a lot of, I'd say 80% of the time we've got turned on webcams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a tip. I mean, this isn't really about the cold call, but one thing that, like, for me, I get like 90% of people that do turn on the webcam.
Oh, do you? Okay, you've got a good. Yeah, that's a good turnout.
I'll show you an example of why this is important. So we don't have to keep this today to one topic. I'll just share some stuff that I think is really helpful. So I'm going to show you one example. And the biggest thing is if they have webcam off, they could be doing other stuff. They could be checking their email. They could be, like you don't know if you can't read their body language. Like exactly. I think what's that saying? 55% is body language of communication or something.
Yeah.
Right. So and you don't know if they're actually paying attention. So what you want to do is step one, if you want to write this down, is just ask.
Oh, there you go.
Right. Now sometimes, and do it exactly like it. Don't be like, hey man, turn on your freaking webcam. What is this? Like just you want to ask it in a very subtle way, because some people, like, it's crazy to me, but some people it's 2022 and they just don't have a working webcam on their desktop.
I know. Yeah.
So the way I ask it is I just say, hey Russell, by the way, do you have webcam so we can make this like a face-to-face?
Yep.
And just say, so we can make this more of a face-to-face. So if you want to write that down, so hey, do you have webcam, just so we can make this more of a face-to-face? And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of companies with a lot of people where they understand that, hey, I want to be having face-to-face interactions. Face-to-face is considered way more fun, way better, way cooler than they don't like Teams or Zooms or whatever.
Yeah.
So that it's like, hey, can we make this more of a thing that you like? And then here's a example. It may be the audio might be choppy because I'm just sharing over a screen share, but this is a meeting that I did for a client. Check this out.
I don't know if you can recap what we talked about in 30 minutes or not, but if you could, that would be great.
Yep, that's plenty of time.
Perfect.
Awesome. Cool. So you saw what happened there is they were on their phones. And most salespeople, if they had no webcam, most salespeople, hey, blah, 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 and you have none of their attention, right?
Yeah.
So what I did is I noticed they were on their phones. and I just waited.
Actually, I didn't notice that was very what do you call that? Very subtle.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like here, look, they're
We'll
on
play
their
it again.
phones, right?
Yeah.
They're on their phones.
I didn't
Check
even
this out.
notice.
Watch this. So I'm talking, right?
I don't know
Yeah.
if you can recap what we talked about in 30 minutes or not, but if you could, that would be great.
Yep. That's plenty of time.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's tip number 2 is like, never speak without attention. And that's good for public speaking, but sometimes when you're on a presentation on a Zoom, it is kind of like public. You're speaking to people and you want to have what's called altitude. So we're going to talk a little bit about the cold call in any context, whether it's a follow-up call, a cold call. You are the expert, like they are going to you for a solution. You want to have altitude in the call. Do you know what I mean by altitude?
No.
So altitude is basically like, hey, I'm at a certain level, like if you go to the doctor, right? Who knows more about health? Who's going to be the expert in that conversation? You or the doctor?
The doctor. Yeah.
Okay. So you know why that's the case is because he's got the apron. What's it called? The lab coat.
Lab coat.
He's got the stethoscope. He's got the demeanor. All right. He's leading the conversation. And what happens to salespeople sometimes is like, you ever had someone who like dominated the conversation and they were asking all the questions, right? So they had all the altitude. They had so you want to make sure that you have the altitude. And there's an actual process that, I mean, that's kind of getting off topic, but part of our training actually teaches you how do you do the greeting in a certain way that you are controlling the situation and you have altitude, and basically you don't domineer the buyer. You don't say, hey, I'm going to control you. You actually get them to turn control over to you in a very subtle way that is actually normal and natural and genuine. You're not using tricks or manipulation or anything like that, but you're basically giving people what they want, which is information, and you're letting them know that. So you're just being very upfront. And then what happens is if you don't do that, a lot of salespeople, they're not able to get into their fact finding. Fact finding is qualifying, asking questions, finding out about them. And the reason I'm bringing this up as well is because this is actually tying in perfectly to the cold call. So one of the reasons that you're not able to get people on the phone is, and this happens to me, it happens to every salesperson, is, and you should write this down, is you don't make enough phone calls.
Oh,
So
okay.
frequency is the road to greatness. Frequency before greatness. So many salespeople, they're trying to do the perfect email, the perfect call, and they spend so much time massaging the email, making it perfect. You should make it good. You should. But it comes at a cost where it's like you spend all this time, oh my God, and it's the perfect thing, and it's and you send it, and then it goes to spam. In that time that you spent 20 minutes looking the guy up, sending the perfect email, I made 20 phone calls.
Yeah.
And what I did is I literally went in and I made all those calls. You know why I'm able to be frequent is because I know how to handle people. I know how to handle the objections that they're going to give me. And I know how to put the buyer at ease in the greeting of the cold call so that I don't get a whole bunch of objections like, hey, I'm not interested. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I'm trained on, and I'll share how to handle these. Not interested, I don't have time, send me an email.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not the decision maker, no budget. If you ever get any of these, okay? So I'm going to talk about that. Just before I give you the actual structure, here's a couple tips. So one thing that you could do is you could send a video email. So I don't know if you guys do this already. Do you ever send a video message to people?
Never.
No.
Okay.
No.
So here's an example. Let me just show an example. Who did I send one recently to? Yeah. So you don't have their cell phone. If I have their cell phone, I'm going to send it in their cell phone. Let me just see here. Email. If I don't have their cell phone, I'm gonna embed a video, a little 30-second video. Okay, you guys can see this, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
like it.
So this is a application. It comes free with our CRM. Your CRM might have one. I don't know if you guys, what CRM do you guys use?
We're on Salesforce.
Okay, we're a HubSpot, same thing, right? So they probably have, this is called Vidyard. It's a attachment to our CRM. And basically, see how it says one click? Do you guys have an attachment that allows you to see if they clicked on stuff?
No, is that
I
like
think so.
monkey survey? Well, not survey monkey. Sorry, there is no. I'm gonna in short, no.
Like I could see who clicked on my stuff and who opened it. So that's another thing, if you guys want to write that down, is like a lot of these softwares are free. Salesforce definitely, I can't imagine that Salesforce doesn't have one. Salesforce is like even better than our CRM. So that's super key. I know that he clicked on this. 99% of the time when I send a video like this, they click it. And this is very simple. Here, I'll just share the.
Hey Paul, Ryan here, Grant Cardone, Canada. This is our office here in Vancouver. Really appreciate you hitting our site. I would love to have a quick 10-minute conversation where I can give you all the information, all the pricing on how our program works for your 12 salespeople. By the way, yes, as you saw on the clock, it is 7:25 p.m. Here at 7. I'm the hardest working guy in the office. Again, my name is Ryan Gorelick. I'm the director of training here in our office in Vancouver. Can't wait to show you more. Click my calendar link. Would love to book a meeting with you, get you all the information that you're looking for. Thanks.
Okay. So it's very simple. Here's the structure of the video. It's, hey, so, greet. Just wanted to put a face to the name. Okay. Let you know I'm a real guy, real company. And here's why that resonates with people. When you get a cold call like Russell or Byron, when you guys receive a cold call, I don't know about you guys, but what do you picture? What's on the other end of that cold call or that cold email?
I mean, like
different.
the individual, you mean, or the.
Like, yeah, and the individual or the situation or like whatever it is, like, what do you guys picture on the other end of that phone?
Well, I was going to say indifference. We got a lot of indifference on the other end of that phone.
Yeah. Or even on an email.
Yeah.
Maybe there's no one on the other end of that email. Maybe it's
Or
just
no one.
automated, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get a cold call or an email, I picture this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some outsourced cold
Right.
call center in Bangladesh, right? So I'm emailing him, right? I'm calling him, I'm leaving him voicemails, and he's picturing this. And then I send him this. And he's like, oh, and they have no clue. Like sometimes they have no idea because they get so many of these. And the thing that you're like, oh, wait a minute, send a video. That's kind of weird. That's kind of different. That's why it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
good.
the
I can
first
see
thing.
it working well for what you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to say if that would work well in our world. I don't know.
Everyone says that, by the way. Everyone says that.
It's like Russ said earlier in the call when he'd say I would agree with Russ when he said about 80% of the time people aren't really showing their face, or I don't know if it's a for whatever reason, I'm not exactly sure, but it might work. I mean, I could see that being better than what is standard now. I guess we'll definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And I can see it definitely being a little better received, because you're right. There and we're not even really a big company, but we do get cold calls, trying to sell us freight or whatever. And yeah, it just kind of seems like it's from the same group, really. As you said, the cold call center, right? So yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. I was going to say too, Byron, I think a lot of the time we get, faces on our cameras is because we are dealing with people in their pajamas a lot of the time.
Right.
And that's my suspicion. And, a lot because of our time zone differences. And we also work with engineers who I would say as a whole is a little more introverted than we
Right.
are. So a lot of the time, right, we're doing our dog and pony shows. We're the only ones with the cameras. And the other guys, one thing I learned today is it does not hurt to ask somebody to, and then that was something I was really passive on. but it doesn't hurt to ask somebody to, or make a suggestion. Hey, do you have webcam? Let's make this as we can make this a face-to-face meeting rather than having an audio.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
I completely agree with that.
the only reason that it would bother someone is if they know that their people should be doing this and they're like, oh, like, I know if my people were doing this, if I was doing this, like, man, why am I being so introverted? Like, I'm missing so much opportunity.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
man. And sometimes like, it's just like, but I'd rather risk offending 5 out of 100 people who are like, oh, I'm offended that you sent in a video. Like, I'd rather look for the 95 out of 100 that are like, wow, this guy's going above and beyond. This guy's being creative. And by the way, like on follow-up on video, we get like crazier and crazier. We get so creative. Like, we introduce people like,
Hey Chris, appreciate your time today. I wanted to introduce you to someone I could not show you on the call, but one of our client performance managers, Krista.
Hello, Chris. We are super excited to have you getting started on.
Okay, so you could introduce people. Like, there's all kinds of creative stuff. We have people that are like huge fans of Grant Cardone, and like I'll send them like stuff. I mean, I'm not saying to send this per se, but I'm saying like,
hey Justin, Grant Cardone here. I actually work with Ryan. I'm here in my Vancouver office.
But like we get more and more creative every single day. And ultimately you got to feel that out with the customer. But the point is like creativity on the cold call, like where other people are like, oh, the cold call doesn't work. Oh my God, it's taking so long to get in front of him. It's like, what could you do instead of focusing on how it's not working? How can I just get more creative and do something that no one else is doing to get in front of someone? Like if your life depended on it to get an appointment with the guy, you would figure something out to get in front of the guy. Like I was trying to get in front of Osama. It took a really long time to get a meeting. It took several months, but like ultimately I did. And even if here's another tip for you. You should write this down. Send stuff in the mail. Send something in the mail. We have here, I'll show you guys. We have all kinds of collateral. Like we have magazines and postcards. Where was that? I'm not seeing it here, but we have these little like toy feet, and we say, hey, we send it to someone and we're like, hey, just trying to get my foot back in the door. Just trying to get my foot in the door, right?
Yeah.
5 out of 100 people. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. But like, dude,
I like your approach because you use creative, a few times in the last few sentences. And I think the way business is going, especially with the embedded video, this is the first I've seen of it, by the way. And I'm just saying this in front of you to Byron. And I really think this is where commerce is going in a sense. So the creativity is definitely something I never even thought of myself as a salesperson. So anyway, and the foot in the door thing, I think that's really, really wise.
Yeah,
it's really clever.
I had an IT company out in Ontario that landed a huge account, a massive account. I don't know if you guys know, do you know what OVO is? It's Drake's. No. It's you guys know who Drake is?
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
It's his like clothing line. It's got like the owls.
Oh, he's got a clothing line. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like a giant company. We were sharing like creative follow-up strategies, and they sent them their executives. They sent them this follow-up strategy. They said, hey, we have the missing pieces to your success.
Success and nice. I like that. I like that.
Like when's the last time you sent someone coffee? Hey, would love to have a coffee with you. And they just receive a skip the dishes. Like you just go skip the dishes. Right. And you say in the notes, hey, put a sticky note saying, whatever. Like we might say something like, hey, coffee is for closers. Cheers to all the deals we're going to be closing with you. We're a sales training company, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, there's no rules. If you want to write this down, like, dude, there's no hard set rules on this planet.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're on the right track. It's I can see that it probably would work in some areas. I mean, especially with everything so different these days. I like that. I like like where your guys' head's at. You definitely got some creative ideas for sure as far as getting those meetings, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I first saw some of these, like I was like, ooh, like we're calling on multimillionaires, like CEOs, like very official people in suits and ties, and they're very like they're running multi-million-dollar companies. And then it hit me, I'm like, dude, these are people that go home to their wife and kids or husband and like they're just people.
Mhm.
They have friends that they text and they send little gifts and like that, like
Yeah.
they're just people. They like to laugh and smile just like everyone else.
Right.
And don't let like maybe you know, someone who's like, you ever meet someone that's just like really uptight and there's like something that 95% of people would have laughed and smiled at, that they're just like, I don't have a sense of humor and I hate this and blah, 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 and I'm just a miserable person. Like, don't let that person, like I'm an engineer and I have no social skills and I have no friends and nothing is funny and I don't laugh and I don't smile and I don't do anything. Like,
And I
don't
hate
let
fun.
that, yeah, they need to make themselves right by making you wrong because you're having fun, enjoying life, going for opportunity, and they're not. Like, don't let that one person talk you out of like, I'll never forget this. Like I was, by the way, are you guys cool if we make this more of like an informal meeting? Like
Absolutely.
it's not really
Yeah.
structured, but I'll tell you a
Yeah.
story. Before this job, I was working for the Ottawa Senators as a sales rep. And I don't know if are you a hockey fan at all, Russell?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your
Byron
team?
more so. Oh, I'm a
Yeah.
Flames fan.
Give me the story.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Byron definitely is a hockey fan.
Yeah.
More so than I am. But anyway, yeah, I'm a Flames fan. I'm from Alberta.
Was that a Dallas Cowboys mug? Did I see that?
It's, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, is that oh, is junior hockey?
No, it's my son. Yeah, he's a little. He's
Oh.
confetti.
Oh, okay. It was.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome, man.
It's a Canucks.
Yeah, they're little Christmas gifts they gave out.
Yeah.
So.
He's got the hockey flow like Russell.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So like, you know, oh, by the way, so I sometimes keep a folder of these just to share with my salespeople. Like this is an example. You Photoshop their face onto
Oh, beauty.
hey man, this is what it'll be like, right? But anyway, the story goes, so I was learning about being creative and sending videos and blah blah blah, and like we were at a draft event and we had that young guy that they just drafted, the guy with the curly hair, Kachuk, I think his name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kachuk. And I was like, hey, Matthew, or whatever his name is, I was like, hey, I have a client that's a big fan of yours. He's thinking of buying like a $25,000 package. Could you just do a quick 10-second video and just say hi? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to. We did the video. Hey, this is, you know, Kachuk. Hey guys, really appreciate you considering signing up to have seats and watching us play every day, or every second day or whatever. Awesome. Talk to you guys soon. Cool. Sent it. Client loves it. And then I had a colleague that pulled me aside and was like, hey, you shouldn't do stuff like that. You know, that's too much and that's out of bounds and blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
It's like he gave up, right? He was just
Right.
this sales guy that was just happy making his 60 grand a year and he just was floating by, and he saw someone going above and beyond and going for success and he tried to pull me back. So like, just be very aware,
Yeah.
like I was the sales rep, and I don't know if you relate to this, Russell, but like I was the sales rep that's like, hey, if everyone's making 100 grand a year, I want to make 400. Like I want to
Yeah.
be so
Yeah.
far above and beyond everyone else. So like when you start doing some of this stuff, you might have people try and hold you back. Just treat it as a sign of success. Just be like, hey, like
Yeah.
that's a symptom of success, and go for it. And when you make a, I'm trying to think of some other strategies for you. When you make a cold call, I'll actually give you some tips on the cold call. Any questions on what I've mentioned so far?
No, but I didn't know that we were be talking about cold calls. So I'm just saying, Ryan, that you're this call comes at a very good time just because I'm in cold call season myself. So anyway,
Okay.
yeah, so just a word of appreciation there.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. So like, why am I doing this meeting, right? Like, you want to write this down. This is directly from Grant Cardone. Give.
Yeah.
This
sure.
is like, this is biblical. Like this was known for thousands of years. Like if you focus on servicing other people and just helping other people, it's going to come back. And the problem is a lot of salespeople, they just focus on what is my paycheck. You know, let me get this deal. and they end up getting way less than people that say, hey, I want to service people. I'm just gonna focus on others and I'll get paid eventually. So, you know, that's a very important thing.
Well, that's definitely our way of, we're long sales cycles, and you're maintaining accounts, even though there's no actual purchase orders. We do this all the time, Russ knows, like troubleshooting, things like that. And yeah, it doesn't lead to any actual sales, but then hopefully down the road, that's the whole point, right? You're building a relationship, building that trust. So yeah, we're with you on that. Definitely that exactly business model for us, for sure.
Yeah.
And one quick tip, like just before I roll into the cold call, is like, if you want deals, you have to build relationships over like a year, 2 years, 3 years. And so we have this thing inside of our program called the follow-up tool. And one of the biggest challenges for me at the start of my career is the CRM would go ding, 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 ding. It's day 2, follow up. And I would go, hey, checking in, right? And what Grant taught me is like, hey, that doesn't provide value to anybody. What is the value? Hey, touching base. Like if you've ever gotten a salesperson following up with you and they're like, hey, just wanted to see, did you think about it? You're like, ugh, I don't want to take this call. So what happens is if you could actually make touch points, like, and this is an entire year's worth of follow-up, and every single one of these touch points is actually providing value. If you could figure out what those touch points are and do those and really create that relationship, that's what leads to deals. So here's an example, one that I just love. It's day 5. So I click day 5. Let me take this off of mute.
I saw this. I want you to find it's day 5. You're going to use, I thought of you when I saw this. I want you to find some piece of data, anything, some piece of data that causes you to think about this customer. If you're anything like me, you're thinking about that customer every day. This is day 5. So I know you're thinking about him right now. He's not going to get lost. She's not going to get lost. So just send him an email, or you could make a direct phone call. You know, I like those better, or a text. I love those. Thought of you when I saw this, and include a link to some information, an article, something that caused you to think about this customer. Try that today. Look, if you don't know what to do over the next 4 or 5 days, check back in with me. I'm going to have a specific call that you can make tomorrow, or if you want to give it a little breath, on the 10-day contact. Pick a day.
Okay, so here, I'll show you an example. Where is this? So this is my colleague. So he knows the guy's a car guy, right? Like what we sell has nothing to do with cars. It's sales training. But he knows that that's an interest, a personal interest of the customer. I'm sure you probably get to know your customers a little bit. He sends this. He says, hey, saw this article the other day on the new ZR1, which is a Corvette. Looks like the Ford GT just met its match. And then what does the customer respond with?
You know, much more with you. Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So it's kind of backwards. If you say, hey, what are we doing for the deal? Hey, are we going to do the deal?
Yeah.
Like they're going to just ghost you. If you just add value and stay in touch, they'll bring up the deal. So you want to write that down. If you add value, trust me, but you remember this forever, tattoo it on your forearm. If you add value, they will bring up the business end. Yeah. They will bring up the deal. So just focus on the value, because they remember who you are. Like they know that you're a salesperson. They haven't forgot that fact. But it's that first part where they're actually happy that you're there talking to them. So that's just a quick tip. So let's get into the cold call. So here's a quick tip on the greeting of the cold call. So most salespeople, they go, hey, John, it's Ryan here, Inproheat. How's it going? How's everything? How are you today? Now, the problem with that is, what do they think? Like, actually, let's flip this. You know, you get a cold call from Bell or Rogers or TELUS or RBC, right? What immediately do you think when they go, hello, it's John here, I'm calling with RBC. How are you today? What immediately do you think?
Yeah, what are they gonna sell?
Yeah, what are you selling? What are you flogging?
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. And you're kind of like,
yeah, get on with it.
Yeah. Okay. So if every single cold call in Canada, there was a legal law that it was only allowed to last 9 seconds and then the phone just shut off, would you listen to his pitch?
More likely to, yeah.
Of course. Who wouldn't? Yeah. I would listen to 9 seconds, dude. Go. And then the
Yeah.
phone's gonna cut off. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I would. So the real issue, you want to write this down? The real issue on most cold calls is time. Because they're like, if I give this guy time, he's gonna spend a bunch of time and go over script, go through this whole long thing, and I'm literally in the middle of something and I don't have time. So what Grant does really beautifully that no other trainer out there does this is he actually initiates objections. So what you want to do is you want to say, hey, John, it's Ryan here, Inproheat. I probably caught you in the middle of something, so I'll keep this quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, I like it.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone's in the middle of something. It's so true. It's so true. And they always just go, yeah. And then it opens up the call. What a lot of salespeople is they go, how's everything? And they're like, then they could say, what are you calling about? What is this about? Who are you? Or they say, hey, do you have 60 seconds? Hey, do you have a minute? What could they say also? No, I don't.
Okay.
Can you send me an email? Now
Yeah.
you're behind the 8 ball. This puts you in control. So remember how I said at the beginning, it's you want to allow them to turn control over to you in a natural way. You basically point out and you initiate the objection that you know is already in their head. So, hey, I'll keep this quick. Is that cool? And then they go, yes. And then you go, hey, the reason for the call. Okay. Now that's obvious, but the most important thing is you could make the customer feel like the call is for them. Now, what I mean by this is you're about to initiate the next objection. The next objection, again, think about it from their perspective, is, oh shoot, this is a cold call. I don't have time for this S.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can swear with you guys, but like that's what they're
good.
thinking, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
all good.
They're like, dude, I don't have time for this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then that's their first objection. And then you go, let's say you handle that. What's their next objection is, where did you get my name? Like, what is this? How do, like, who are you? Where you get my name? How are we on the phone? Like, what's right?
Yeah.
So you want to make the call feel like it's for them. So what could you do, or what do you do already that makes the call feel like it's for them, or makes them feel like the call's for them?
Yeah, you've either researched their company, or they're on a project or something specific, where you're not just kind of splattergunning cold calls out there, right? So
Yeah. A
yeah.
lot of our cold calls too is if we know a project by a major company is undergoing something, building a facility, and we know we're relevant.
Yeah.
That's another big reason for our cold calls and why they're queued up or why they're on the radar.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where you want to state this, is right at this point in
Yeah.
step 2. So
Okay.
reason for the call is, hey, listen, I know you had this project going on. I saw
Yeah.
this. We're working with so-and-so. You probably know him,
Yeah.
right? So they're like, oh, okay. And then it makes them want to listen more, because they're like, oh, this isn't just some sort of calling out of the yellow pages, right?
Yeah.
And so the next thing is you want to state the reason for the call. Hey, what is your actual big claim? Right? So you want to write that down. So the next part is you want to state a big claim. I'll give you an example. Our big claim is that we increase sales by 15 to 30% in 90 days. Most people won't believe that, but it is true. Now, what is your big claim? That might vary depending on what you're doing for the specific customer.
Yeah.
Right? But you got to figure out something that sets a hook that goes like, bam, like, dude, like, and this is what works in society. Like, have you ever seen like, hey, this is the best, this is amazing, this is going to see a huge impact. Like, have you ever seen a movie commercial where they're like, hey, this is going to be a mediocre movie with okay actors that might make you think that it's somewhat good.
Yeah.
No, they're like, this is the blockbuster, the best of the year. This is Academy Award winner, right? So you want to set a hook, and then right after you do that, right? So you got to figure that out for yourself, right? I'm not here to tell you, say exactly these words. I can't, you know it better than me. But the next piece, okay, is what usually happens next is now they're going to come up with another objection. Now, what is the usual objection after you've done this part so far? What do they usually say next as an objection?
We don't need any.
We're not
Yeah,
that stage in the
we're not
project
at
yet. Or,
yeah.
We don't need anything. We're not at that stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
You should be talking to so and so.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be
Which is
talking.
okay. At least you're getting something there.
Yeah.
What else? Trying to
Just the
think
most
now.
common, the very most common ones, like the big ones, the juicy ones.
Well, the most
Yeah,
annoying
we're
one
not
is
there
send me
yet.
an email, of course,
That's-
right?
Yeah,
like-
that's not an objection. Yeah, it's almost like
sorry,
I'm too. Yeah, but I think is we're not at that stage yet. Is probably the most common one.
Yeah. So what you want to do at this point is you want to actually roll into what's called an agreeable statement. So you want to write that down. It's an agreeable statement. So I'm going to initiate an objection for the third time. So I've already addressed time. I've addressed why me, where'd you get my name? The third objection is we don't need anything. We're not at that stage and you're talking to the wrong guy. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm going to drop my big claim. Hey, we do this. It's unbelievable. Now, John, I just want to acknowledge you're probably not even at that stage. Most people
Yeah.
aren't. And there's also probably someone else that I should be talking to.
Mhm.
So I do just want to acknowledge that. Is that fair to say? So
Yeah.
rather than big claim, and then they go, hey, listen, here's my objection. And now you're trying to handle it. It's, hey, dude, big claim. And by the way, I'm sure you probably have this objection. Is that true? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Now I move on.
Mhm.
See the difference?
Yeah,
It shows
you
them
kinda
your,
beat
your
them to
it's
the punch,
approach.
right?
preemptive. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you ever see your I don't know if you guys are married or you got girlfriend. You ever see your girl like you could tell something's wrong and you go, hey, is everything okay? And she's like,
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's like, and you could tell like everything's not fine, right? You bring it up, right? Why do you bring it up? Because if you let it just stay below the surface, it's gonna explode at some point. It's gonna bite you in the ass later. So ultimately, you want to figure out that statement. Hey, listen, I just want to acknowledge you're probably X, or I'm sure you're probably thinking
Yeah.
blah.
Or you're probably
Yeah.
mad because of what I did yesterday or 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
it's
yeah. Hey, you could use this stuff. Hey, selling is not exclusive to your career. It does help in relationships. Dude, when people
100%
get on
agree.
our program,
I 100% agree.
dude, I swear, dude, when people get on our program, they're like, my marriage got better. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Even this
Nice
statement,
byproduct.
dude, I'm sure I probably caught you in the middle of something. Like people sometimes go, well, it's true. I am actually in the middle of something. Like, how did you know? Oh my God, that's so weird. You recognized it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you want to qualify, right? You guys probably have your qualifying questions. I'm not going to spend any
Yeah.
time on this. Then you want to book the appointment. Okay. Right. I'm sure you guys do that, right? When
Yeah.
can I get in front of you? What most salespeople do is they go, hey, when can I get some time on your calendar? Do you have this or do you have that? Right? You offer two options, which is good, which you should do, but they miss the step before that, which is, did I actually spell this wrong? Or is this just
Actually
is this
do.
actually?
Yeah.
Oh,
you got
I
it.
think it's a grammar. It might be a grammar thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you actually do right now? Go for the now appointment. Why would I want to go for now? I freaking got them on the phone. They're spending time with me. Why would I put it off, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, 80% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, they won't have time right now and they're going to want to book an appointment. But it's still important to ask. So why is it still important? Is because it creates something very important that buyers need to buy. Okay. And it's a letter that starts with you. Can you guys guess what that is?
Starts with you.
It's like,
Understanding.
nope, it has to
No.
do with time, right? Can I do right now? It's time. It's hey,
Starts with you.
Urgency.
urgency. Yeah,
Oh.
urgency. Now, if I had a product that actually did the big claim, it did actually increase your sales by 30%, and it changed lives, and it was amazing, and it was revolutionary, and it was awesome, and it changed people's situation. And I went, we could put it off, whatever. It's kind of a disconnect. It's kind of a disconnect. If
Oh,
it
yeah.
actually did save lives, dude, if you had cancer and I had the cure for cancer, and I said, hey, when do you want to book an appointment? Like sometime next week? Like, you'd be like, but you said it,
Right.
why can't you,
Yeah.
like, right? So it's like, dude, now, let's look at it now. Okay, so just because most of them won't actually look at it now doesn't mean that you shouldn't ask, because when you ask, it creates urgency.
Yeah.
And then what you want to do is you want to ultimately ask, now who else needs to be involved in order for you to make a decision on this? Why do I want to ask this question?
Yeah, I mean, you want to get the right audience, and the person you are calling may be part of a team that ultimately makes a decision, but you know, often in our world anyways, Russ, I'd say, would you agree that it's not just one person making a decision? Sometimes it is, but for bigger packages, it's definitely
Major projects is
there's
definitely
a group
a team
that
effort.
decides. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So imagine if I called Inproheat and I called Osama and I just booked an appointment. I was selling him the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. And then Byron's really the one that would implement sales training. And then I don't pay any attention to Byron. I don't even find out about Byron. And now Osama's like, okay, I think it's good. And then he goes to Byron, and then Byron's like, dude, I hate Grant Cardone. Or like, I don't want to train people. Why would I want to train people, man?
Yeah.
If I made my people more money, maybe they steal my job. I don't like this. And then Osama comes back to me. I don't know about Byron. And Osama comes back to me and he goes, hey, Ryan, you've been great. We're just going to put this off for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he told me I'm the guy, I'm the decision maker, right? When really it was he needed someone else's buy-in. So he's not going to tell me about the other people involved and that he had that conversation. He's just going to say, yeah, we're going to look at doing this maybe in a couple quarters.
Right.
So that's what happens to your deals. If you ever hear that, like, oh yeah, no, we're just going to hold off for now. Like there's someone else involved usually that, or maybe they're not the decision maker, or maybe they're the check signer. Like they make the ultimate decision, but the actual end user, they're not sold yet. And if I didn't show them the value, if I didn't present to them, how could they be sold? They haven't met me, they haven't seen it, they don't know anything. So by asking this question, this is this might be the most important question in all of B2B sales that no one asks, is who else needs to be in the meeting? Who else is involved?
Yeah.
Who else would you need to take this to? And sometimes you got to ask this question multiple times to get a real answer. Because if they say just me, I am the decision maker, right? If you ask a guy, hey man, who wears the pants in your relationship? Who makes all the decisions? Oh, no, me for sure. I'm the man. I decide everything.
Yeah.
If he says I did make all the decisions, who usually makes all the decisions?
Yeah, not him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. That's right.
So you want to write this down. If they say just me,
it's
probably not them. If they say talk to someone else, it's probably them. It's backwards.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's something I never even thought of on my own.
No.
That
makes sense.
Think about it, man. Think about it. Dude, a guy who makes decisions, he's got no time, right? He's I'm a CEO, I'm important. If he said, oh yeah, I make decisions, let's take a whole bunch of time to look at this. Absolutely. And they spend all day on the phone with you, like just know that you are not talking to the actual person.
Yeah.
And then they be all nice to you. Oh yeah, we're gonna put this off in a few months, but you've been great. And yeah, we should catch up. It's like he took it to someone who actually had the check signing ability and they just shot it down. So and then what happens is they can't tell you that because you didn't ask this question, and now they got to save face because especially men, we're more proud, right? They can't say, hey, by the way, I told you I was the man, but I'm actually not the man, and it got shut down by the actual man. Like who no one would ever say that, right?
Right.
So they got to go, hey, we're going to put it off. So if they say just me, you want to say, and by the way, first rule of selling, never be confrontational, always agree. So don't be like, they're like, just me. Well, sir, I mean, clearly you don't wear the pants. If you said like, okay, you want to agree, hey, for sure. I can totally tell you're the decision maker. Usually someone like you likes to get the support of someone else. just to make them feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I was selling insurance or floor, like let's say I was a B2C salesperson, right? And I was with a husband and I said, hey husband, who makes the decision making? And he's like, me, I make all the decisions in our marriage. Hey, totally understand. You know, usually guys like you, they want to get the wife involved just to make her feel good. Really, you're the one making the decisions.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Just to make the wife feel good. And then you get the wife in the appointment, she can actually be there and make a decision. So that's important. Where can I text you a confirmation? Right? Where can I actually send over a text? Because I want this. I don't want their landline. I want their cell phone, because the cell phone is with them at all times. Like, and I want you guys to picture this. How many unread emails do you guys have in your inbox right now, both work and personal?
Oh, my personal, a ton.
Care not to say, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but on my work one, I do read everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, before deleting it. So I don't have unread emails on my work one. Yahoo for sure. My Yahoo mail.
Yeah. What about, you know, like if you think about it this way, like a business owner, their work one is like where they're getting sold mostly, right? There's stuff coming at them. So your personal, as a salesperson, that's kind of like the same thing for you. So for me, I have like, I think like 8,000 emails unread or something like that. How many?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Or whatever. Like they just keep coming in, right? I can't get to all of them.
Yeah.
How many texts do you guys have right now that are unread?
Oh, 0. I read every single text.
Good point though.
Yeah,
exactly.
but it is a good text. Yeah.
So you want to get the text and you want to text them in real time. So you say, hey, where can I text you a looking forward to our appointment at 2. Where can I text you a confirmation? And what I'm going to do, you know, I'm not even a fan of Apple, but the only reason I got a Mac was because I could text from my computer.
Yeah.
And I could say, hey, so for example, we'll do this in real time. I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So, hey, Russell, what's the best number where I could actually text you over my contact information? Are you a 403?
Yeah, I'm a 403. 463. 7877.
77.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
There you go.
So you just got my personal contact information. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them a video of that selfie after.
Yeah.
So you just got it, right? So
yeah.
So in today's age, everything comes to you like that. Like, dude, I could order a package from Amazon and get it the next day. I could search something in Google. Dude, in 1980, I had to go find an encyclopedia. I had to go to a store, buy a book, look it up in the book, find the thing, find the page, read it. Now I could type it into Google and it pops up at 0.28 milliseconds.
Yeah, right.
So you guys want to write this down. Speed is service. People want things quick. They want to know that it's there, quick information. You're there for me. You could supply stuff with speed. And when I text them while I'm on the call, it shows that I'm a professional and that I'm going to be there and get things to them quickly. And they're impressed. Like even there, when you just got that from me, you're like, oh, wow, that was even, you were showing me what you were doing and that was impressive, right? So have stuff that you could text them. At a minimum, just text them your name, but text them in real time. And then the last part, I know I'm like way over time, but I hope you guys are getting some value from this. I'm going to wrap it up in a minute here.
Don't worry.
Okay. The last thing is you want to lock close. Is there any reason short of a hurricane? You know, you could say something funny, a zombie apocalypse, right? Just wiping out all of Canada, that you would not be able to make the appointment at whatever time. And the reason this is important is because sometimes they'll go, well, actually, hold on, let me check my calendar. Oh, I actually have an appointment then. Can you actually do 3 p.m. instead?
Yeah, just make sure. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you saying there? You've seen, it's almost like they'll take the appointment, but not really be fully engaged. So then, they're going to bail out on it. Just use that as the reason down the road, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I'll give you an example. When I actually bought Cardone University myself, I had someone call me. His name is Morgan. And he was like, hey, he was really pushing for an appointment. And I was like, wow, man, this guy's really good. He's like, hey, tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'm like, sure. And really, I was like, I'll probably just put this off. And like, I had no real intention of showing up. And then he asked me this, he said, hey, is there any reason short of a zombie apocalypse you would not be able to show up to that appointment? And when he said that, I'm like, oh my God, I have to show up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me actually see if I'm available. Like, oh shoot, that's actually real.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is a very important thing to ask. And it shows that you're a professional. It shows that you're serious, and it shows that, hey, like, dude, remember that word that I talked about starts with an A? You are the authority. You are the authority.
Oh, yeah.
But I said another word. Altitude. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Altitude. Okay. So it shows that you have, hey, dude, I'm expecting you to show up. Like, dude, my time's valuable too. You never want to say that. Never make it about you at the customer, but you want to show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like, do you want them to think, hey, I'm a sales guy that people know show me and I'm okay with that? Or do you want them to think, hey, I'm a professional and people show up to my meetings?
Yeah.
That is another reason for this question as well.
Yeah.
So, dude, I have so much, like, that's why we went over time. I have so much in my head that I know that works, that like, you know, and just so you guys know, like, my ultimate goal is that you guys get daily strategies where we're teaching you guys stuff like this to you wrestle into the entire team that could help you with stuff like the process and closing. And hey, what do I say when they're like, hey, it's too much money, or need to think about it, or I don't have time, and how do I make that cold call? How do I follow up? How do I get my personal finances right? And we have a platform that delivers short videos that could actually get you that. So if you're open-minded to that's just to be transparent. What we sell is not, hey, we're just going to do this webinar one time and you know it for the rest of your life. It's, hey, it's a daily discipline of 10 minutes a day of getting actual content and sticking with it. That is what we do. So what I'll do in the meantime is, just because you guys have been so great, is I'll hook you up with a free audio program that you guys can use to help your sales abilities. And of course, like, we have so much free content online. So YouTube is a good resource. Just type in Grant Cardone. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there as well. One of my favorites, I'll actually text this to you, is Grant closing two $40,000 deals back to back on the phone. It was a live situation. Let me text it to you. And that's one of the first things I ever saw. I thought it just like blew my mind.
Huh.
So any questions, by the way, on what we went over?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Byron.
No, I was just going to say that, I mean, yeah, you've definitely got some pretty fresh ideas here. I could definitely, like, I guess a lot of the great ideas you have, I can definitely see industries where it's very effective. Now you mentioned like insurance sales, stuff like that. It obviously, I'm sure you have other clients that aren't quite all the same. It doesn't quite fit in the same mold, but there are some really good ideas you've come up with here, and I think we can definitely chew on this a bit more. But yeah, it's great presentation. You guys have thought this through. You've made it a process. It's pretty interesting what you've come up with here.
Yeah. One thing I just want to add to that is something a little more specific that I was thinking this whole time is, Byron, I think you'd agree with me that a lot of the time, and my main complaint, I don't know if this is a complaint, but it's just more of an observation on our end. We don't deal with a lot of decision makers, and typically it's a real disconnect to get to a decision maker. It's almost like you're trying to close the sale in order to be introduced to the decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I call it the layer selling. That's something that I've kind of coined internally. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's something that I personally don't have answers to. It's something that is a trial and error for me. Anyways, I just want to bring that up because maybe you might have other clients that sort of work in that kind of selling. You know, like, we're not really direct for most of the time.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, like, I know I mentioned that as an example, like with the wife and husband, but like,
Yes,
that's actually not our bread and butter. Our bread and butter is B2B. This is a client of ours, Mammoth Equipment. They're in Manitoba. So they do like exhausts and stuff for the mining industry. This is a company, it's called GenPro. They do like energy solutions. So like
Okay.
giant projects, long sales cycles. This is a company that does like big customized machines for companies. We have this other one, Go for Industrial, again, very like industrial. This is an interesting one, Walgreen. So this is a client, saw huge results. They do like these massive systems for like farming companies that ultimately
Yeah.
like they're dealing with the end user, and they're building out these giant grain systems, which is very long sales cycle, very like, I don't know if I'd say engineering, but like very like technical.
Yeah.
So just to let you guys know, like it's definitely not like, hey, this is not car salesmanship that we're teaching here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that does actually address what I'm saying is, I think in a way that a lot of these businesses probably have the similar sales processes as we do. Like it's a disconnect to the end user is basically what I was trying to say. And
Yeah, and like one important thing that, you know, I think I brought this up on the call that we had with Osama Byron, which is, you know, ultimately you guys have your industry specific training, right? You have your product knowledge and you have your industry specific training, right? See, it says you provide,
yeah,
like you guys have a process that has to do with like Inproheat. Like I'm not even going to pretend I know half the product knowledge or industry specific knowledge that you guys know. Like, and here's the good news about that. This is actually a benefit to you guys. If you had a sales trainer that said, hey, we're going to do your industry specific training, like, dude, no one knows your situation, your product, your customers better than you do. I'm not going to even pretend. What I'm going to say is what I do know probably better than you guys is, hey, how do I follow up?
Yeah.
How do I make a cold call? How do I deal with people? And that's something that is like so much better when you see it and you go, how does this apply to this? I'm going to think with that, and I'm going to do it in my own style where I sound like Russell, as opposed to a company saying, hey, we're going to do this, say these exact words. And you're like, that doesn't exactly jive with our marketplace. There's like a very important thing that I wanted to touch on. And I think that's something that a lot of companies miss. So, like even it's actually funny that concept of application, like, hey, I watched the video, I thought about it, I thought about how this could apply. We see that English second language people actually sometimes do better with our program because they have to pause the video and think like, wait, what did he say right there?
Yeah.
Right.
So which is a funny phenomenon, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm way over time. I hope this was really helpful. If you have any questions, like feel free to stay in touch, follow me on LinkedIn or just shoot me a text. You know, you got my personal cell. So if Russell, you ever need anything,
Absolutely.
if
Yeah.
it's, you know, 1 a.m. on Saturday and you're 8 years deep, don't text me, but otherwise, you know, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why not?
Thanks,
We go for a
Ryan.
beer. Yeah.
It was good. I think as we said before, we just wanted to bring in sort of more of our team here. And if you have this recording, you're able to share it. I think we could, you know, put this out to the group, and yeah, we'll talk about it a bit more, I guess.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. I'll send that probably by end of the day today.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
then we'll be in touch. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
later.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, guys.